let us start our today's class. In the last class, we discussed about a value system and how value play different role and how we acquire such value. These things we collected about some knowledge, some information in the last class. Now, before starting today's class, I'm just presenting you a UPSC paper that held in 2022. What UPSC has given in their question. We should always keep in mind that we are preparing for examination. So being ethical is very good, but we need to have idea about our question paper also. Is it visible to all of you? Those are online. Now you can see this paper I have shared with you, and hope you have received collected this paper also. सारा पेपर भेज दिया है मैंने, लगभग 10 साल का जो भी हुआ है मिल गया है सबको. नहीं तो पेपर देखना पड़ेगा ना, what we are reading is relevant or not. We should always keep in mind that we are preparing for examination. We are not here for being a saint or sage. सन्यासी बनना तो हमारा है नहीं टारगेट. तो जैसे क्वेश्चन आ रहा है in this text file, you can see how questions are being asked. Here, first of all, keep in mind that you have to answer all questions. There is 12 questions. It means you have to, you don't have any option to leave a question. You have to write all of them. So it is compulsory in nature. Now, I'm taking here example of question number 2, part B. What we have concluded till now, a question can be interpreted or answer can be understood on this what we have gathered. The question is, it is believed that adherence of ethics in human action would ensure a smooth functioning of an organization/system. Do you agree with that? If we follow ethical principle, then our organizational function or the function carried away in any system can be very smooth, can be flawless. Now, what say in the next line? If so, what does ethics seeks to promote? What does ethics seeks to promote in human life? How do ethical value assist in a resolution of conflict faced by him in his day-to-day functioning? Is ethics play any role in conflict resolution? Suppose we are fighting with our own brothers, we are fighting with our friends, or suppose we are quarreling boxing at a roadside. In this way, if we follow, zoom little bit, zoom, I don't know how to zoom it, but I'm trying. Zoom नहीं होता है इसमें. So this function is not available in this application. So you have to manage what I said, and you can download this question from the archive or from the mail that you have. So we now handle this question with the fact or knowledge what we gathered. Suppose in this context, you have to just correlate your answer with the first line of this answer, that it is believed that adherence of ethics in action ensure a smooth functioning of organization. Simply you can define it, ethics is the standard of human behavior that suggest or that guide us about what is right or what is wrong. Now, just what does ethics seeks to promote human life? Just after writing a short introduction, make a short heading. And the heading is for what? Is for this context that ethics seeks to promote in human life. Take that kind of headings directly from question. In this way, you can easily make aware the examiner that what you are going to write. So need not to hesitate to borrow the headings from direct your questions. So you can now put in very short about 25 words, just mention headings how ethics is very significant in human life. Suppose we can write there as it guides human behavior, it tells about good and bad, it is very helpful during we stuck in ethical dilemma, in conflict, it provide us moral basis of conflict resolution, it also steers us to perform our duties and responsibility toward society, toward organization. So with this point we can explain this part of question. Now, second part, this question is divided into multiple part. So you need to focus all such part. It is divided into three different part. First part is asking about what you understand about the ethics. Second part, how does ethics promote promote a good life for human? And next thing, how do ethical value assist in a resolution of conflict? In this, to deal this question, you need to make some example. You need to write some examples. Suppose constructive dispute resolution. We can use this word while dealing with conflict. How can we manage or how we are resolving our dispute? Suppose two brother, I'm giving here a practical example, are fighting for parental property. So the basic and the set trend is that property must be divided between 50-50 among or between both brother. It is the criteria of property division. But what if the value of property, suppose a person, I can take here example, suppose Ram Swarup, or we can say a person, Rampal. Rampal was a government servant. He accidentally passed away during his job. Ultimately, government provided a job to his elder son. We can take here example Suresh. As example Suresh. Suresh got the job in behalf of that accident, and remaining whatever property left by this Rampal, Mahesh claimed that property shall be given to me, as I am not in that position to earn my livelihood from that kind of permanent job. In that case, it is become quite difficult. What would be the judgment to address this dispute? So in that case, your judgment should be most probably goes in favor to this Mahesh, as Mahesh is entitled for more property, more assets, as he is devoid from that kind of permanent job. So what we actually followed? We followed rule of equality, principle of equality, principle of compassion, as we need to put ourselves on the situation of Mahesh, and thereafter need to identify the best way on which that kind of dispute be solved out, that kind of way. So we can use different example, different, for example here again we can use a family dispute between wife and husband. Suppose both are fighting, and they actually filed a case for divorce. So property that were earned during their marriage life must be divided between both of them. So in that case also ethics guide us what to do. So you can use different example of dispute or conflict, whether it is your family dispute or your property dispute or even dispute in organization, and you can look, we need not to explain the entire detail about that dispute. We can just make passing a reference. Passing reference means, for example, ethical principle can use to sort out the dispute, the family dispute between husband and wife. This is called passing reference. Again, we can use diagram or chart for to explain that thing. Suppose we can make a hypothetical person, Rakesh, his wife Sunita, and him, and whatever property they acquired, they own. So in this way, we can uh, analyze these things. Look, ethical example. You should try to actually what I am saying from the first day, we need to actually need to examine what is going on around us. If we are able to find out our surroundings, our atmosphere, then we can easily correlate ethical principles and this kind of question. So not need not to hesitate to use your daily life experiences. It has been considered as very good because we are taking example from our own experiences, and we will later discuss how our experiences is quite worthful than we are gaining information from other sources. So experience determines our own personality. So we will so must try to write this question. Now come to our main topic. It is uh, the last class that we were reading is value, human value. So make a heading. We will first write the information or the concept of human value, and thereafter today we will start a new topic also. It is quite dynamic and comprehensive. It is attitude. So attitude will be the next topic. Attitude. First of all, we will make a short note for introduction. Attitude. Oh, sorry. Values. 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 All right. Heading. Values. Values. And right here, values. Values. Values may be defined as may be defined as may be defined as the broad preference, the broad preference of individual, of individual, individual, of individual, full stop, broad preference of individual. Further, 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 it is the standards of behavior. It is the standard of behavior based upon person's sense of, based upon person's sense of right and wrong, right and wrong, 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 wrong. In another word, in another word, 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 it refers in inverted comma what is important or worthy, what is important or worthy for for one, for one. So it is, we can use whatever we want line to explain it. Next, make a short heading, short heading, belief and value, belief and value, value. First point, belief, belief is an individual, belief is an individual perception or perception. We have different word like predisposition, we can use even judgment. So consideration, different word you can use whatever you think suitable. So person's preference, perceptions that something is right or true, something is right or true. Value, 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 value can be said as a firm, FIRM, firm and a strong belief, firm and a strong belief, belief that 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 significantly or substantially, significantly define the character of an individual, character and individual, individual. Value value is an anchor, over which individual personality rely or develops develops. Now we can make here a box, and in box try to draw this graph. It is called actually, when we use this kind of arrow, it means that we are drawing a flow chart. So our belief system is a result of our family, society, culture, education, self experience. Need not to write all such factors. We can use 2 or 3 factors. So if children is taught to not to lie, in that case he learned that lying is a bad habit. It is wrong from his family. So we can use this diagram and correlate it with this value. What is important? Recognition, success. In parliament, a debate occurred. I am giving you an interesting example. First, write this, and thereafter we will discuss that debate about nation's value. Nation's value. Everywhere you can find value system. If someone says everything fair is fair in love and war, again they are avoiding the human value, because we can't negate such value. Education, health, family, happiness, success. All done? All have noted? No. Look, actually, in examination, must try to cover such flowchart or diagram with a box. First thing you must follow in your examination, that cover a box or rectangle to show your flowchart. And the second thing that you should follow, name this flowchart. So we can use a name for this relation between belief and value. So it will make examiner more satisfied, more clear what you are writing, more aware. All done? Okay. Now, what I said, a debate. I'm quoting here an example from our parliament. A debate held where a minister urged that India should strive to enhance the growth rate of GDP. Do you think we can, even today, can expedite or can fast up our GDP growth rate? How? These are the positive things that you are saying. we can use another means also that we have till still restricted, like we can allow people to yield opium, to yield uh, that kind of things. So when people yield that kind of crops, you know that the market value of such crops is quite higher. They are considered as more valuable. But despite knowing the fact, government is not allowing such kind of practice because of what?
It will lead to economic growth, but not economic development of the society.
Because of this value, we actually held that society and healthy society is very much required for our nation, our common good, our national interest. So multiple ways are even still here, and we cannot use all such things while taking decisions. Or now, salient feature, salient feature, salient feature. Salient feature. Make a short note all such feature. First thing, are central, are central or deep rooted, are deep rooted to human personality. Personality. Even in very adverse condition, peoples are not actually not tend to compromise their value set, their value system. It is the value could be, could be ethical, moral, social. It means value could be ethical, moral, religious, political. Political. Next, are not innate or by birth, rather acquired. 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 Different people may have different set of values. Values. And second last, are abstract in nature. Suppose one say that show your values, then are you in that position to show that value you holds? It can't be presented in a real world. It is uh, our mental disposition, our thinking. Thinking. It is quite uh, stable and enduring. This point is very important, that value doesn't changes as easy or as belief changes. Our belief can be changed. If one day we we goes to US, and where we found that kaua in white color, then what we held that crow always in black color, this kind of belief easily broke out. So stable and enduring. Okay. Now, uh, different set of value may conflict to each other. Each other. What if such conflict occurs? Suppose that kind of things occur in your daily personal life. Suppose you are a religious person, you always pour sibling with milk on Monday. When you went to watch a movie named OMG, and in the movie you are taught to not to do that kind of practice in your daily life, then here value system, your value, your religious value can be get conflicted with that movie is teaching. So in that case, we will, in the condition of confusion, in the dilemma, and the strong value will ultimately prevail. So we will discuss how value system
We can follow our own
or
or belong to theirs or reach a common ground.
reach a common ground. So this thing is all have noted. किसी का छूटा भी? चलो. Now again make a salt list. Type of, well, you need not to write all such things. Actually, you have PDF of this content also. Type of values. We have to memorize these words. These are very crucial for this subject. So make salt heading: individual value, honesty, integrity, courage, sympathy, social value, cooperation, harmony, tolerance, respect. Suppose our society left this or leaves this kind of values, then what would be the result? Our society will collapse. So these are the glue, we can say Fevicol, that attached our society, that bring together our society. Organization value, we can use service, truth, profit, truth, need not to make difference, or you can use different organizational value for different organization. Actually all organization are more or less different from each other. Like journalism rely on truth, but they are not following this value. So it is held that they are degraded their value. Academic value, debate, inquiry and question, spirit of reform. Have you ever read this word, spirit of reform, anywhere in your books? कहाँ पे है बताओ? अच्छा, और कहाँ पे है? हमारे यहाँ एक बहुत फेमस डॉक्यूमेंट बुक है और सबके पास है. Lakshmikant is correct. Actually, it is our constitution and our fundamental duty incorporates this idea. Can you explain what is spirit of reform? Need to understand that it is a core human value, even duty of any individual, every individual.
The courage to
For the betterment. Very good. If you are very good, if you are watching or seeing wrongdoings or that kind of evil practices is going on, you should stand up to counter, to oppose that kind of practices. But knowing this fact, do you know or how many person have you seen that they are doing that kind of thing? The spirit of reform, very few. It means value is not enough. We need something more to inculcate or active our society. So this something more is our next topic. Now, physical value, running, swimming, constitutional value, whatever word mentioned in our preamble is our values. Limited legal infrastructure. No, it is not limited legal infrastructure. It is lack of deriving force that compels us to follow our own set of value. Most of the people, Dilip said that people are not following their value of spirit of reform because of absence of legal infrastructure or limitation. A limitation uh, drawn by law, but draw liberty, equality, fraternity, sovereignty. Environment, this is very popular. Let and let leave. One more you can use, that is stop and go. Stop and go. Actually, it is a new concept that has been given by Australian Griffith Taylor. Griffith Taylor. In geography, you will be aware about the concept of stop and go. He neo-determinism. It is called neo-determinism. He propounded that development of economic development or any other kind of development is very crucial for human society, human civilization. But we need not to indulge in the business or in the activity that has very negative or harmful impact on our environment, so that we must first assess the impact of our action. Our action, if goes against and it causes a devastating impact. Suppose we are looking to provide 24/7 electricity to every household in the country, and for that we mooted that we would construct a very high power generating dam on Himalayan region. And suppose, as we know, Himalaya is very prone region for earthquake. And if earthquake occurs, then what would be the consequence? The dam that stored millions of liter water can be result into disaster. So we have to assess what we are doing. If we are looking to develop infrastructure, then we must take consideration about geographical features, about plantation, forest, about species. Our work must be in the relation with our environment or surrounding. Now, next heading, you have actually just make a short point for that. Other values, if these are for that purpose, if UPSC uh, will ask a question that relative and absolute value, then you will be in the stage to understand, articulate the question. So other values, a relative value, first heading, differ from or vary from person to person. Short heading, relative, vary person to person. All person hold different set of value. Absolute value, second point, absolute are 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 held worthy, are held worthy worthy because of its own sake, because of its own sake. Sake, SHAK, sake. Sake. Sake means it is held that this value, SHAK, sake. Sake. For example, non-violence, equality and justice we can quote here. Everywhere, मतलब किसी चीज को इसीलिए अच्छा कहा गया क्योंकि वो चीज ही अच्छी है. मतलब फॉर इट्स ओन सेल्फ वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट. पेन इज गुड एज इट इज इटसेल्फ वेरी वर्दी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर कोई अपने में ही अच्छा हो जाए तो उसको कहेंगे. मीन्स इट इज द एंड, इट इज नॉट द मीन्स ऑफ एनीथिंग. वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट. जैसे कोई कहे कि सपोज वी फॉलो, और मतलब यहां एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल लेते हैं, जैसे फादर. अब ये जो टाइटल आया या ये जो हमने दिया, इसके साथ क्या अटैच हो रहा है? रिस्पेक्ट. फादर है मतलब आपको रिस्पेक्ट करना है. नो वेयर इन द वर्ल्ड सोसाइटी टीचेस टू डिसरिस्पेक्ट योर फादर. So father is respected as being father. So this value is adhered, is inculcated because of its own merits, because of its own importance. It is called absolute value. Again, protected. Protected. We can define it firm value or strong value. A strong value, comma, individual not trade off it. Trade off it. Trade off it means मतलब जल्दी उसको छोड़ता नहीं है. गिव अप. Trade off means give up. Religious, yes. Even having threat, jeopardy of life during medieval period. What did the people during that time? They actually adhered their Hinduism, and later some Hindu is remain. Some Hindu remains still. Most of them converted. So because of their less firm values. Again, sacred value. Sacred means pavitra. Sacred value. We can use this. Also a firm value. Also a firm value. One seldom compromise. One seldom compromise. Seldom means कभी कभी, शायद 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 कॉम्प्रोमाइज करता है. ठीक है. नाउ we have discussed all such thing. Yes.
If we try to say that in a country where there are conflicting values between the person will directly reflect on the country's economic growth and development. That the people are having a lot of conflicting values in
Conflicting
India,
value, yes.
they directly reflect upon the economic growth and development of the country.
Means it goes against the
So, sir, it will directly reflect upon the growth. क्योंकि सबके अलग ideas होंगे and if we are always in a conflict, then we will not be able to reach a common path for growth and development. One may be better for the other, but one may not be better for the
better
other.
for other.
In supposing in the in our country itself, we have a lot of minorities and representation from different communities. So one scheme might be profitable for one, but one may not be able to gain so much from that.
So much from that.
Yeah, so it might
So
directly.
how can we go ahead?
Yeah, so how can we go ahead when a single thing has a lot of conflicting
Lot
values
of
and it
conflicting
is strict
value.
from
So
us?
we need to correlate first with our own notes. In the last week, we actually read about different ethical principles, teleological, deontological, etc. And now come to different set of value. Even in a individual person, different set of value resides. बहुत तरह के वैल्यू एक आदमी में भी होते हैं. सपोज यू आर लुकिंग टू बी a very healthy person, very muscular person. Gym culture is very popular nowadays. So even you, another thing that you also like to be a very intelligent person. By reading or writing or attending class, you would be a very wise person. You would like to get entertained by watching movie or any other kind of thing. Your friends are indulged in traveling to Simla or Masuri. There are multiple values which you like or favor, even as an individual. But what we do actually, we gives priority. Those value are superior, we always add here that value. We uh, always try to fulfill that first, and later is after that we try to fulfill, or even they can't be fulfilled by person. In society, that is also true. In difference of society, minority, majority, women, child, all have different set of value. But it is a government who is actually who represent a collective will, and by the process of debate and discussion, they actually try to incorporate all idea, and try to actually maintain or fulfill the value of entire society. So what they are doing to fulfill a common good. If someone feel or uh, someone experiences negative impact of that kind of thing, then it is based upon the good and bad persons, collection of person. Suppose death penalty, who is facing death penalty is against his value, because he has to give up his own life. But why society accepted the idea of death penalty? Because the person who did wrong is not supposed as to live in our society. So what we adhered, the social value that will protect our social ethical principles. Again, suppose if an act goes against minority, what we witnessed last 2 or 3 years, that Muslims went away from their came out from their house and they staged protest against CAA. and they urge that CAA must be reformed or annulled, since it rejected the demand of Muslim minority. What government did, and what government actually, how government explained this uh, rule or regulation? Government explained it that it is only for those person who actually faced religious persecution. So we can't it held as a generalized rule, or that rule that can hamper the interest of minority. So in democracy, obviously different kind of value system is prevailing. Government is doing the thing which actually address or fulfill the demand of overall society. Do you think construction of road is not goes against individual interest? If government forcefully roll out that we will construct a railway line, and those land come under this track we will siege, even by giving compensation or by forcefully, then what is the consequent, or what is the result? People have to left their property. People have to left in favor of government their property. So it is government who has to fulfill the need of larger people, larger group of people, common good all over the citizens. So we can't underestimate the role of government in particularly democratic system. Democracy system is based upon discussion and debate. So everybody has right to uh, to to raise their voice in favor of their value system, in favor of their requirement and demand. If it would be it would be uh, it would be acceptable for government, in that case it would be fulfilled, otherwise it can be ignored. Even a person is staging protest since 2000 since 1995 on Jantar Mantar. For what? For conducting examination of UPSC only in Hindi, to promote our Hindi national language. So that cannot be entertained by government. We need to understand that our society is quite diverse, quite dynamic. So in this way, we can find out the answer. सिख ऐसे कई सिख है. Similarly, in intrinsic value, it is quite absolute value. Intrinsic value. Make a short short explanation. The value adhered for its own sake. The value adhered, ADHERED, adhered for its own sake. Bracket, in bracket, right end. It is an end. Extrinsic. 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 To achieve other value, it is followed. Means, it is means. Why we need job security? Because having job security, we will actually do, or uh, whatever we have quality or that kind of thing we can uh, pay to our organization. But also in return, if we have a job security, then we can easily live our life without having a stress of hire and fire. If someone don't have job security, then he always in that condition that what would be next day. If my boss become angry, then I have to leave my office sudden. So this will provide mental peace and other thing, a standard of living. Why we need suppose RO? Why we need require RO? Without RO, even villagers are living. So when we thought that RO is essential for clean drinking water, then we purchased this machine. Personal or community, it is quite easy. You can correlate it with personal means individual and community means the value imparted by entire community. Now make a short diagram, significance of value. Either you can draw the same or you can make a short heading, that is significance of value. And short point, value gives meaning and direction to our life. Require for peace of mind. Peace of mind. Helpful in decision making. Steers or drive while struck in dilemma. Dilemma. Have you faced dilemma in your life? Please बताओ एक डायलेमा ऐसा कभी सबके साथ है, अब थोड़ा उसको कोरिलेट करना पड़ेगा. अच्छा मैं बताता हूं हाउ यू वुड बी इन डायलेमा. सब हाँ डायलेमा ये भी डायलेमा. बिल्कुल ये सारे एग्जाम्पल हमको ये जैसे स्ट्रीम चूज करना तो मेक दिस पॉइंट विथ इथिकल डायलेमा. व्हेन वी फेस्ड डायलेमा, even UPSC has asked that kind of question also, that when you faced ethical dilemma in your personal life, so this kind of example will make you more comfortable to handle such question. Yes sir, in restaurant, yes you can say that. Suppose a friend or family member or relative came last night and they said that चलो आज जो है लाल किला देखने चलते हैं. And in that condition or case you held yourself in dilemma that you have to attend class tomorrow. So it is good to attend class or go to see Taj Mahal. Carve priorities. So everywhere life is actually dilemma and we need to just correlate ethical terms with our own experiences. बस नाम लिख लिख के अगर उस चीज को करें तो बड़े आसानी से सारा कुछ आपको दिखाई पड़ेगा, विजुलाइज हो जाएगा वो. एंड इट इज वेरी गुड if we do so, then we can easily grasp the idea of this entire subject. It is quite practical. Now next thing development of human value, development of human value, development of human value. Need not to make that kind of diagram. Formation, first point, formation and development of value, formation and development of value, and development of value is a continuous complex and interdependent or interwoven interdependent process family, society, education institute, family, society, and education institute please play vital role in value development process. Now make a separate heading, that is role of family. Role of family. It is your syllabus. Role of family. So I suggest you, whenever term family arrives, correlate it with your own family. Then you can easily understand what is they are asking, what they are asking, or what question is saying. So just correlate it. First of all, define family. Define family. Family is a social institution. Family is a social institution attached or bounded with blood relation. Attached or bounded with blood relation. Next line. Usually family holds common belief, customs, religion, and culture. Usually, it is not universal phenomenon, as we have witnessed religion marriage, cross religion marriage. So it's going on. Now, next thing, make a short heading. Role of family. ऊपर तो हुआ है, वो एक ब्रॉड हेडिंग था. नाउ वी विल रोल इन ब्रैकेट राइट कंस्ट्रक्टिव रोल ऑफ family. First point, in since family family is the first school of an individual. Since family is the first school of an individual, person develops or inculcate core value from his family as 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 we can actually make a diagram here also, that father, for suppose we have father, और फादर से क्या सीखते हैं? जस्टिस, इक्वलिटी, डेडिकेशन, करेज, wisdom. Actually, no need to be feminist. We can use the same thing with mother also. But if we have different set of value, then we can quote differently. Father. Again, responsibility. Again, we can use responsibility. Make here another head, mother. Care, love, protection, empathy or sympathy. She is the mother who care you most. Even in comparison to father, mother play this kind of role. So care, love, protection, sympathy, or whatever you want to write here, you can use. Again, we use like, means you can use different person of family, and you can attach a different kind of value set. So, for example, brother, what kind of value system? You can adopt cooperation, how to fight, togetherness or belongingness, sharing. So you can use here also for brothers different. 3 or 4 is enough for brother perspective. For brother, actually, brother or sister, it is belongingness or togetherness or fraternity. Again, cooperation. Again, support. support. If even we found in cheating or that kind of practices, our brother or sister supports us if we are wrong. Reform, again, it is quite important. Reform, a spirit of reform, a spirit of reform, reform. So, 4 or 5 things you can use. Debate and discussion can also be debate and discussion or deliberation. We can use debate, deliberation, debate or deliberation, deliberation. Reconciliation, reconciliation, समझौता. Often we engaged into fight with our own brother or sister. Later, we compromised and reconciliation, forgiveness and reconciliation, forgiveness and reconciliation, conciliation. So in this way, we can draw the set of value we takes from our own family. So these are very, even our grandfather and grandmother is part of family. These 3 or 4 is quite enough. Now, next point. Next point. Next point. Often, mother or father becomes role model for a child, and they mimic 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 or imitate. Both are same. कॉपी करना मतलब मिमिक और imitate their behaviors, if father or mother, you have actually experienced it when your mother is doing prayer or reverence, then often child along with mother try to do same thing, whether he is able to speak it very clearly or not. So this is very obvious. हाँ, ये तो होता ही रहता है, तो यही चीज है. We can put here like this. For example, if family or if parent treated their children equally, no discrimination prevails in the mind of children. Is it right or wrong? तो शुरू से ही वो बच्चा देखता है कि ये ट्रीटमेंट हो रहा है. अगेन ऑब्जर्वेशन बिहेवियर, अगेन religious, cultural, and spiritual value. Religious, cultural, and spiritual value. Value, value is imparted or is given by family. Now again make a short point. Destructive role of family. Destructive. First one we that noted is constructive. Why Kasab become Kasab? If he were guided by his family to do ethical or that is good for society, then he couldn't do that kind of thing. So this is quite obvious crisis. First thing, if family suffers, if family suffers in value crisis, in value crisis, 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 negative value, value, value is imparted to their children. Children. Example, for example, we can use give example more. We have actually mentioned it that if discrimination prevail in society, we can use it. If gender discrimination, if gender discrimination, gender discrimination followed by the parents, it is quite obvious for children. Do you very much aware about the difference between gender and sex? Gender is a social term. When society treated male and female differently, then the term gender is used. While what nature did is called sexual differences. We can't change first thing, but second thing. Next thing, uh, nowadays, nowadays, days, particularly in nuclear family, where working parents parents are working parents are comma 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 family value do not passes through their children. टाइम है ही नहीं तो वो शेयर क्या करेंगे? शेयर नहीं हो पाएगा. अगेन फर्दर, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, फर्दर religious fundamentalism and dogmatism. Both are quite similar. Dogmatism is 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 also seeded by family itself. Itself. Is it right or wrong? If a family family forcefully follow that kind of religious practices, in that case, their children will also adhere that rule. And last thing, last point. Uh, Last thing. Over the past few decades, the role of peer groups, peer groups, social media, social media, and society has 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 surpassed the role of family, surpassed, or we can say undermined the role of family. इवन कार्टून देख के बच्चे जो हैं वो अलग अलग तरीके से बिहेव करते हैं. तो इन दिस वे, in conclusion, we can write a salt point in like conclusion. Hence, 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 family must incorporate or incorporate noble ethical virtue and passes through to its children and pass through its children. In a optimistic way, we can conclusion. Here, conclusion means what? Different kind of question is being asked by UPSC. Some question like, what do you think about the role of family in value development or formation? This is kind of your thinking or based on your thinking process. आप क्या सोच रहे हैं? In that case, your conclusion should be quite broader, quite larger. बड़ा होना चाहिए. उस केस में you have to suggest more measures, more recommendation. How can we make our family a good institution for value development? But if we are, if question is asking about a general perception, like explain the role of family in value development. In that case, we can use the first part of this question, that is, explains means how and why. We have to just write how family play a constructive role in a value development. Later, in short, you just can highlight the limitation or destructive role of family. So, if explain or illustrate comes, then they are asking about general perception, positive aspect. When question says that, if question like that, discuss the role of family in value development, then you have to put both positive and negative idea, negative role played by family. Critical examination, it is quite discuss type pattern, and in that course, that type of question, you also have to provide information about destructive role, about constructive role, and ultimately answer our conclusion. Must not write negative conclusion. We always be optimistic person. We are just wanting to get a job from UPSC, so they need not to hire a person who has very negative perception about society, about family. It is family that can change, that can be modified if they are guided. So with that perception, you can handle different. Now, role of education institute. Role of education institute. Education institute. 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 We can use short acronym ED, Education Institute, or EI, Education Institute, for the term Education Institute. Education Institute, EI, 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 play vital role, play vital role in the formation as well as in the development of value. Value. Rabindranath Tagore, Tagore held that, or opined that, or said that, we have different word, we can use whatever you want, said that the aim of education institute, the aim of education institute is to develop moral, spiritual, and ethical values. 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 It not only sketches. What is sketching? We are drawing lines over blank paper, kind of that thing. So if we suppose that our mind, the mind of children is quite blank, and it is the education institute who fills different value in the mind of that children. So it sketches the cardinal value, cardinal value in the mind, and also help to understand and nourish. Nourish means feeding that proper value, nourish their own value, nourish their own value. Now we have to make a diagram, or we can list it also. So time is now over. We have to conclude this class. Next class, we have to understand the idea about attitude. And it is quite vital, quite significant. If we compare both topic, then attitude is very much important, significant. Every year, UPSC has asked question over attitude. For attitude, I have provided two different PDFs, lecture 6 and lecture 7. Today, you will get another part of that. It is lecture 8, headed as lecture 8. Besides that, as I said, committed you that I will try to collect information from different sources for this subject. So besides that, if you want to read more, actually it is enough, but you can download NCERT class 12 psychology book. NCERT class 12 psychology book, where attitude is properly mentioned. I used some information of that NCERT book where I thought it is required. So we actually incorporated. We have all such things, but you want to read NCERT, then you can read it. So next class we will cover attitude. Oh, वेलकम. अब घर जाके बस एथिक्स को जोड़ना शुरू करो. कहाँ पे डायलमा आया, कहाँ पे किस सिस्टम को हमने देखा.